Oh, we're gonna actually get Coach
Well, we have no way. We're here live on set, so we have no way of doing it without.
Oh no, I love
without
this.
hearing
We
the
got
ring.
a ring. It's actually I hadn't heard it. It's ringing.
Hello.
Yo, Coach, what's up? Hey, we're live. We're live here on air. What's up, Coach? How's it going? Everybody's favorite segment every single week. The legend herself, Coach Kim Mulkey, joins us here on Off the Bench. Coach, how we doing on this Tuesday morning?
Well, we're doing good. I'm getting ready to walk the neighborhood for about an hour and come back and head to the office and see if we can figure out how to win another one at home against a very, very, very good Oklahoma team.
Yeah, by the way, guys, as Coach referenced there, a massive game coming up this Thursday night in the PMAC, 6 p.m., the 13th-ranked Oklahoma Sooners against the 7th-ranked LSU Tigers. Let's start there, Coach. What does Oklahoma do so well that y'all are going to have to be prepared for come Thursday?
Well, I'm very familiar with Oklahoma. Now, I'm not since Jenny has become the coach, but boy, did we have some battles back when I was at Baylor in the Big 12. They're always, always good. This particular team, her style of play, the head coach played at Iowa, and she just has that spread the floor, shoot the three, has probably, in my opinion, maybe the newcomer of the year in Beers. Beers is a big girl inside. We played against her in Maui when she was at Oregon State, and she and Angel had battles inside the paint. You can expect an experienced squad. They push the ball up the floor. They're just good. They're well coached, and they do a lot of things within their abilities. And if, I said, well, they're athletic. No, they're not what you just call athletic, going to blow by you. But they're just hard to defend.
Coach, I feel like every week that we talk with you this season, it does feel like we have some unique game plans. And we talked about Tennessee and the style of play that they have, and now certainly Oklahoma, and then South Carolina last week. They've got a different style. Is this more than normal? And I know that you've faced every single style, but I do feel like in the SEC this year, there's like no two teams that are alike, and everybody's kind of got their own way of doing things.
Well, that is true. If I only have two conferences to compare my career, to, and that would be the Big 12 and the SEC. And if you just ask me on the surface, both are outstanding. The SEC, when people talk about it across the country, they just talk about speed and quickness and athleticism. Well, that's true to an extent, but then you've got the Oklahomas and the people who have come in, the Texas, they bring their own style, as you say. And it's different, but you've got a new coach at Tennessee who brought her own style. It's good for the game, and it just depends on what your philosophy is, what you recruit. I've always believed this. You don't go recruit to what your philosophy is necessarily. I wish recruiting was that easy. You have to be able to adjust as a coach to the strengths of your kids. And we have been able to get people that blend in at LSU or at Baylor, but you can't be so hard-headed that when you see you can't run certain things with certain teams, you change and you adapt.
Coach, speaking of Coach Caldwell over there at Tennessee, she recently gives birth to her son. Not a week later, coaching against South Carolina. I mean,
good game too.
Toughness on display right there. But you gave her a baby gift a few weeks back. Are you willing or able to say what you gave Coach Caldwell?
Oh, sure. It was just like a onesie and some baby. I don't know if it was rattles or whatever. You just go in the store and say, hey, I need something for a newborn boy. I like to tease a lot, and people sometimes take that out of context, but I'll always be me. And I just told them I got her her son an LSU onesie, and they laughed. Did the same thing for the coach, Finley, at Florida. She's expecting a little boy. So why do I do that? I just remember being young, an assistant at Louisiana Tech, having my first, being pregnant with my first. And Pat Summitt just grabbed me one night before we played them, and she just said, don't you get out of coaching. You can be a mother, and you can do this. You got to have a little help, But I just remembered that, and I'm thinking, I'm at the tail end of my career. I'm not a spring chicken anymore, and I thought maybe I'll just give them a gift and encourage them to keep coaching. You can do this, and it's a great way to raise kids around the ball and in a gym.
Man, I just got goosebumps. What a wholesome story. So the generational passing down of wisdom, encouragement from Pat Summitt to you, now to the next generation of coaches. Incredible stuff there. All right, let's talk about a couple of recent results. Again, massive game coming up this Thursday. Obviously, last Friday didn't go the way that y'all wanted it. Before we get to the A&M game, what was your message to the team after South Carolina in terms of what comes next? What did you tell the team?
My message to the team afterwards was the same as before. This is not our biggest game of the year. It might be to the media. It might be to the naysayers. But what this game is one of many tough ones on our schedule. And you're down 10-0 when the game starts because you're on the road. That's the approach I always take.
Oh, wow.
Now, let's go out there and let's see what we can do. When the game was over, the message was, what do you think? Are we any good? Did we just hang on? Did we get blown out? And I made each of them talk about what they could have done individually through the course of a very, very close game. Next time you play them or next time we're on that court, what you can do better, and just talk about it and hold yourselves accountable and walk out of there not too low, not too down. But if we had won, I'd given them the same message. You don't walk out here excited like you just won another national championship. Act like you've been there. And so it was make sure that you don't get too high and you get too low. And we fought. We couldn't score the basketball very easily. But, I attribute that to the defense. I attribute that to people you're playing against, just like in the A&M game, guys, we didn't shoot the ball well.
Yeah.
A&M is known for their defense. Their defense at A&M is better than their offense. So they have to really, really defend you and be strong and be tough and physical. But that with certain teams. Ole Miss will be another one just like that. They're known for their defense. So you weather the storms offensively. But the things we have done the last two games that I still kind of scratch my head. How do you have 28 offensive boards and hold people below 40% shooting in the last two games? Then you break the record the next game and you have 30 offensive boards. Well, it's a great teaching moment because people don't want to hear offense sells tickets, defense wins championships. But when your offense is suspect and it's not going great, your defense can always be good. There's no reason your defense can't. And your rebounding can always be good. And we've been able to do that very good the last two games. And one, you lost, one, you won, but you were in that one that you lost and had an opportunity. It just didn't go our way.
Yeah, Coach, and I know you have to appreciate the effort because you're right. I mean, Friday night on the road against one of the top teams in the country, your team did fight till the very end, and so you have that. But then you can't really feel sorry for yourself at all because you got to come back on Sunday and face a Texas A&M squad. And so I know you appreciated their fight coming back home and then winning the fourth quarter as well. It's a tight game, and you pull away. You outscore them by 7 in the fourth quarter. And so the resilience that your team showed on really short rest there against another quality opponent, I know you have to appreciate that effort.
I'm not into moral victories. Let's back up, and then I'll talk about what you just said. We were the only team thus far to go to South Carolina's place and play within close to single digits. I think Duke lost by 11. We lost by 10. Getting close to that, just getting closer and closer. But what we did, we held them to 66 points on their home floor.
Yeah.
Now I think it was 66.
Yeah, it was 66-56. You're right.
Yeah, so, it wasn't a high-scoring game, and that's because you have two coaches who know that you got to defend in the half court. So all this pressing that Tennessee does and all these new styles of play, at the end of the day, both of us are experienced enough as coaches to know that if you're going to ever win a natty, you better defend in the half court. And I just thought it was that type of game. So you come back home, you don't really have the opportunity to get on the floor. We get home late Friday night, and you have Saturday, then you have a early 3:00 game on Sunday, so you can't go out on the floor and, just have a killer practice, but you have to get on the floor, get some shots up. You have to defend them. You have to get in the film room. So we had to do all of that on Saturday. And we did okay. It was Alumni Day, and we had over 120 former players there, so it was a good weekend. Well, now we have to flush that. We gave them yesterday off. We don't play until Thursday, and I'm telling you guys, Oklahoma is really, really good. They won the Big 12 last year, and you know how good Texas is, and they beat Texas.
Yeah. And again, Oklahoma's coming up here pretty soon. Tennessee's making a return trip to Baton Rouge. I'm going to Texas. Kentucky's still like a lot of ranked games left to go. A lot of challenges, as Coach said. Friday's game, whatever. Like, ain't the biggest game this season. There's a lot more on this schedule to come. Coach, did you ever think, that little girl from Tangipahoa, did she ever think that she would see the snow that you saw in Baton Rouge last week? What did you do for Snowpocalypse 25?
Well, I hope y'all enjoyed it as much as I did with your children, because I don't care how old we get. If your children are around, you're just going to go back and play with your kids. So I went out and walked to just look outside when I could, and I was like, this is crazy. The only time I've ever seen this is in Colorado when I'd take the kids snow skiing. And then Kramer, my son, y'all know he lives here, and he came over with his roommates, and one of my assistants was here. Two of my assistants came over, and Kramer brought the old football, guys. That's what we used to do when we get a little snow. And we threw the football out in the front yard, and he made me take my gloves off so I could get a good spiral. And I said, well, hell, Tom Brady used gloves. Why do I have to take mine off? He goes, Mom, you're always quick-witted. And so we threw the football, but he tackled me in the yard. And I said, boy, if you had hurt me, you would have been in deep trouble. But we had fun and just acted like kids in a candy store.
Yeah, it was. It's something I'll never forget for sure. Very, very, very fun week. Well, Coach, look, we can't thank you enough every single Tuesday making time for us. I know it's an incredibly busy time of year. Enjoy your walk. And, again, guys, pack out the PMAC this Thursday night, 6 p.m., a top 15 battle. Defending Big 12 champs, Oklahoma, coming to town. Show them what the Tigers are all about. Thank you so much, Coach.